Hi yogis, I'm Lorelai. Welcome to Namasturm Yoga. Let's get flowing. We're going to start in downward facing dog. So from this opening position, give your body a chance to warm up. So go easy. Bend one knee, let the opposite leg straighten. Switch sides. I have a little dog who lives beneath me who is barking a little bit today. So if you hear that dog, it's just the neighbor dog. I think he's okay. He might be barking at me as I talk to you. I don't know. Root into the hands, spread the fingers, elongate the spine. Breathe. This is our first pose, so we want to kind of get into the idea that, yep, we're practicing yoga now. From here, bring the knees to the floor, and we're just going to do a few cat-cow stretches. Connect to your ujjayi breath as you warm up the spine. So as you may have noticed, this is not going to be a minimal cues practice today. I do love offering those practices, and I have a whole bunch of them on my channel that you can catch at any time if you want to. But I will say that when I teach, my natural inclination is to talk. I am sort of more of a teacher and instructor, so I do like to offer guidance and thoughts that hopefully are beneficial and helpful to my students. But if you don't care for it, then go ahead and switch over to one of my minimal cues practices, because those are lovely. I'll just give you the sequencing really, and you can concentrate on your own breath and your own thoughts, which we all have many of those. We're going to start to add on here. So from our cat-cow, let's go ahead and go back to downward facing dog on the exhale. And then on an inhale, let's come forward to plank pose. And let's hold plank for a couple of breaths. Shoulders over wrists. This is a strong pose early in the practice, but you can start to engage your core, wrap the muscles of your arms around the bones, reach through the heels so that the calves feel like they're stretching. Keep the neck long, so resist that temptation to just kind of drop the head. Now from here, knees to the floor. Let's drop the hips to child's pose. We're going to flow breath by breath through a few poses here. So on an inhale, come back up to tabletop, kind of sway back, so cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale forward to plank, shoulders over wrists, and then just repeat. So exhale, knees to the floor, hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, back up, hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. Follow your ujjayi here. We're going to do this a few more times. And don't worry if you have a faster or slower inner rhythm than me. It's totally fine. We're going to do the same poses. We might do more or less of them, but it doesn't matter because we're just flowing, right? So we're constantly working, even if it's not fast or slower. Doesn't matter. When you get to downward facing dog, go ahead and hold again. Let's step the left foot to kind of the middle of the back of your mat and then sweep the right leg up. Almost like you're trying to touch the ceiling with the toes. Just reach through the foot. Keep the shoulders level though, so you can let the hips open on this stretch, but try to stabilize with the upper body. Relax your neck. And then look forward. Step that right foot all the way to the top of the mat. Knee over ankle, and we're going to lower the back knee. Let's just take a low lunge here. Come on up, reach the arms, maybe hands behind the head. So I've grown to love this, where I lean my head back, widen my elbows, lift the heart, especially since I've been working at a desk during the day. So if you are in the same situation, you might feel like this kind of answers all of your need to open the heart, which we just tend not to do during our day-to-day. Most things, we focus in front of us. We don't lean back, lift up, open, widen, broaden. Make sure you're breathing. And then taking the hands back to the floor, let's go ahead and lower down to our bellies. So with knees down, you can just bend your elbows and bring everything down together. And then just starting with Sphinx pose. So really easy.
This is such a lovely restorative back bend. It really is not likely to strain anyone's low back, but it is still giving us that opening across the chest. We can allow our neck to be long. If you want to work the neck here, you can tip your head back and then drop the chin forward. You can even turn the head from side to side, so you should be able to freely move your head on your neck from a position like this. And then if you want, you can move it into cobra, so moving the hands by where the elbows were, shoulders back, heart forward, but try to keep the legs and glutes relaxed. So sometimes I'll be in a class and I'll see someone come up into cobra and all of a sudden their hips rise, and that probably means they're coming up a little higher than their body is ready for just yet in terms of the ability to stretch, keeping the shoulders back and down. And then downward facing dog again. Let's sweep that left leg up. So we're going to do the other side. Naturally, try to place symmetrically. Reach the toes for the ceiling. Hands root down. And then bring your foot forward. Knee over ankle, lower your back knee, come on up. So I got to tell you, coming home today, so I came home from work and decided, okay, I need some yoga. But you sometimes get to your mat and you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what your energy is like. And you know, if you've come this far with me so far, just keep going. You know what? When you're practicing at home with a video, you can drop out whenever you want to. You can modify things, change things. But sometimes once you are on your mat, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. There's, you know, a lot of possibilities. Just being there sometimes is all you need to kind of just keep going. Hands to the floor, left knee back to meet the right. Bend your elbows, lower your heart down between your hands. And then we're just going to sweep right into cobra and downward facing dog. Breathing. Root into the hands, pedal through the feet. I always know that I'm going to feel better at the end of a practice. So even if I'm not feeling like super excited about doing it in the first place, if I can just get my feet on the mat, usually good things happen. Let's walk the hands back, coming to a standing forward fold. So soft knees, let the upper body really hang. Grab your elbows, loosen up the back of the neck by nodding or shaking the head just a little bit from side to side. Maybe even sway the torso, so do what feels good here. Right? We want to be able to release tension in our back and our neck, like that's real, right? But here you can try to just decompress the spine from being upright all day long. And then bend your knees a little bit and roll up to standing. Come on up, shoulders back. All right, let's balance. Let's stand on that right foot and bring the left knee into the chest. Find your stability here at the back of the mat. Move the shoulders back and heart up. Steady your gaze at a single point ahead of you. Maybe flex your foot a little bit and then reach the arms up, reach through your heel. Extend your leg in front of you. And then if you can, and be careful if this seems like scary or if you feel like it's not appropriate for you, but if you can, lunge forward. So just step that foot to the front of the mat, bend the front knee, stretch through the back heel. Arms stay up, high lunge, crescent pose here. Breathe. I love this pose, so strong in the legs, but it feels just free and lifted in that upper body, engaged. Energy through the fingers, and that doesn't mean stiffness or tension. It just means like, imagine you're like shooting sparks through your fingertips and they're extending to the ceiling and you don't have to tense up or do anything. It's just happening. Hands to the floor, plank pose, vinyasa. If you want to take a vinyasa, most of my classes are flow classes, usually vinyasa flow classes. I love this style. I think it's a little bit more vigorous. It can feel athletic and requires some energy. If you don't like it, you can skip the vinyasas, but hopefully that's why you're here. Walk the hands back. Let's come on and roll up, and we're just going to do the other side. So standing on the left foot this time, right knee in. Shoulders back. I know yoga can definitely be used for stress relief, but for me, I relieve stress better when I'm a little bit more active, when I'm using my muscles, when my breath is having to work a little bit harder. Sometimes just being still and slow, it feels good, but my mind wanders too much. Reach the arms up. Not that we don't need those slow practices every once in a while, even if they feel like a challenge. Lunging forward. High lunge. Breathe here. Find the strength. So lunge into that front leg. We're sort of getting flexibility here, but that back leg really strong. It's straight, so your quad is engaged behind you. And then hands to the floor. Here's your vinyasa plank. Now maybe chaturanga. So instead of coming all the way to the floor, hover, flip to the tops of the feet, transition to upward facing dog. Heart forward, shoulders back, flip over the toes. That's great for your feet. Down dog. Root in, lift up. Try to think of elongating from hands to hips, that whole upper body on the inhales, and then deepening the pose as you exhale. So maybe heart leans back, maybe legs straighten or heels drop, but we don't want to undermine the lengthening on the inhale with what we do with the legs on the exhale. Hope that makes sense. Look forward, step, walk, or hop. Let's come to the top of the mat now. This time feet together, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Let's take a couple breaths in Ardha Uttanasana. So reach the head forward away from the tail. Nice long spine. Pull the navel up towards the spine, and then we're going to take a little twist here. So left hand to the outer right leg, right arm up. Notice the legs are still even at first, so that means the hips are going to be level and the twist is just coming from the torso. So it might feel a little restrained, but we're targeting the twist. However, we can now go deeper. Bend your left knee and just let those hips twist, and this should feel really good to just sort of give in, allow everything to shift. And then come back to center, and we're just going to go the other way. So back to Ardha Uttanasana, right hand to outer left shin, left arm up. Keep the hips level at first, so you're targeting your twist in the torso. A little bit of alliteration there for you. And then last couple breaths, bend your right knee. Maybe your right forearm rests on your right thigh. Twist open even further. And come on back to center. Reverse swan dive, float all the way up. Let's go into some sun A's. This is a really good way to warm up, connect the breath to the body, build a little heat. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. You can hold if you like, but maybe just one inhale here. Exhale, step, walk, or hop forward. Half lift. Fold Uttanasana. Reverse swan dive, come up, and palms together. And we're going to go for a couple of minutes here, flowing through sun A's. Feel free to add any modifications or variations you like. So if you want to bring knees to the floor and work in cobra, that's a great modification. If you like to jump back to chaturanga or add a push-up and do a power vinyasa, that's another variation. So if you feel like you want to do something a little different, that's fine. Listen to your body. Try to be consistent in following your breath, though. All right, I'll be quiet so you can focus inward this time. We could do sun salutations for like the next 20 minutes and it would be just like a fantastic practice. After you do a number of them, they start to get almost meditative, but we will move on. So maybe give yourself one more round and let's meet in our next downward facing dog. My hair is getting in my face today. All right, from down dog, and take your time. So if you're not here yet, just make your way eventually. Let's take the right leg up. We're going to keep the hips square this time. Classic down dog split. Toes are flexed towards the ground. Root down, lift up. And then let's come to one-legged plank. Move the shoulders forward over the wrist. Try to level out your heel with your hip. So you've got kind of head, hip, heel, all in a nice long line. Inhale, down dog split, press back up. Exhale, right foot forward. Let's take warrior one. Step your back heel down. I like to step my left toes a little further left so that as that heel goes down, it's still slightly to the right of my, or to the left of my right foot. And then come on up, set up your alignment for yourself. Reach and lunge, gaze forward. So you can either keep the palms apart and gaze forward, or if you want, bring the palms together and then try to gaze up towards your thumbs. Keep lunging forward, rooting into the edge of the back foot. From here, let's twist. So try to keep the back heel down as you bring your left arm outside of your right leg and press palms. If that back heel comes up, it's okay to be in a high lunge twist. And then we're going to step the back foot up to meet the front one, prayer twist. Feet together. Try to get those toes to touch again, and then the knees can be side by side. Press palms. And then inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. Move yourself through Vinyasa. So we're going to find our down dog again. These Vinyasas definitely become optional, so pick and choose whether you want to do them or not, whether you want to modify them or not. Left leg up, square hip. Root down with the hands. Keep your thigh facing the floor. Shoulders forward, one-legged plank. Inhale, down dog split, and exhale. Step that foot forward, back heel comes down. Come on up, warrior one. Once again, other side. Alignment for the first few breaths. And then I always just like to experience the pose, right? Without worrying about it so much. Your body's got it, so trust and just be in it. Be with it. And then we're going to twist, this time going to the left. And stepping forward, prayer twist. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Let's flow through a sun B. We're ready. Forward fold, half lift, Vinyasa. Follow your breath. From down dog, right leg lifts on an inhale, steps on an exhale, warrior one on the inhale, and then right into Vinyasa. Stay with your rhythm. Second side when you're ready. One inhale in down dog. Exhale, step, walk, or hop. Half lift. fold. We're going to take chair pose and we're going to twist again. So to the right, left arm outside of the right leg, press the palms. And then we're going to step the left foot back. As you do so, don't worry about getting the heel down. You can be in a high lunge twist. And now, if you'd like, fly the arms open. Extend, open yourself up. And then stretch back. See if you're able to keep your twist. Reach for the back leg, maybe grabbing that outer left thigh with the right hand, and then pull yourself back. Keep lunging forward. You might even be able to look back towards your back heel. Now, keep your twist. Extend the arms out, one front, one back. We're going to rotate to warrior two. So just let yourself rotate the torso around. You're also going to be pivoting on the ball of the back foot. The front foot should stay in place. Back arch lines up with front heel. Front knee stays over ankle. Palms flip down. Look over your front fingers. Turn that front palm up and reverse. Stretch on back. Keep lunging forward. And cartwheel the hands to the ground. Take a vinyasa. And back to down dog. We're going to come back to the front of the mat when you're ready. Inhale. Exhale, step or hop. Half lift. And let's do that to the other side. So chair pose and twisting left. Palms press. All right, and then stepping the right foot back this time. Find your high lunge twist. Maybe fly the arms. Come on up, extend, and then maybe reach back if you can. This is certainly optional. If you can't reach your thigh, it's okay. But if you can grab that outer right thigh, sometimes you can use that to gently pull yourself further in. And then arms out. Let's rotate. Warrior two, other side. Gaze over those front fingers. Get yourself aligned, and then just be in your pose. Sometimes I get to a practice like this and I'm like, I don't know if I have the energy. I don't know what I have to give. Today I was thinking of the end of a poem that I love. It's a Rilke poem, but the very end of it says, fling the emptiness out of your arms into the spaces we breathe. Perhaps the birds will feel the expanded air with more passionate flying. And I just love that idea that if all we have is emptiness, maybe we can give that. And maybe somehow, some way, it turns into passion if we just give in, give out the energy of our emptiness. It seems so silly, but turn that front palm up and reverse. So whatever you have to give today to your practice, to what you're doing, just be with it, right? And if it's very little, it's okay. Just send it on out there and see what happens. Hands to the floor, vinyasa. And holding in downward facing dog here. My other hope is that while we're practicing, even if we didn't feel it when we began, maybe we begin to feel that passion more once our body starts to move and things feel good. Let's take the right leg up. We're going to open the hip, bend the top knee, and flip the dog here. So let yourself pivot on that back foot and step off the mat. Press the heels down, lift up, open, open, open. And then we're going to swing that right leg forward and step it up back to warrior one. Back heel goes down. Inhale, come on up. And then we're going to go to warrior three. So transfer your weight to the balance pose. Reach through the arms if you can, if you have space, if the balance is with you, or press palms. Reach through the back heel.
I'm going to throw one more challenge out there. This is optional, but if you'd like, bend your lifted knee. Reach back with the same hand, so left hand to foot. See if you can find your inner foot, pull up and away, and then maybe that right arm. And if you lose your balance, you lose your balance, right? That's part of practicing. We have to be willing to lose our balance from time to time. Maybe that right hand comes out, thumb and forefinger together. Lift up. Maybe even lift the gaze here. Bend the front knee, step back, warrior one. Let's transition to warrior two. Reverse warrior, and then let's straighten the front leg and come into triangle pose. So going to another classic standing pose. Feel the extension of your limbs, the sides of your body. Utthita Trikonasana, so there's Utthita meaning that extension. Find the reach, find the elongation. Stretch back, hands to the floor, Vinyasa, and guess what, we're going to do the other side. So we started by flipping the dog. Let's take that left leg up, open the hip, bend the knee, and then stepping off the mat. Try to get the hips higher than the knees. Open up, extend. Woo. Let your head hang upside down. And then flip it around. Step forward for your warrior one. Back heel pivots down, come on up. And then we're going to transition to our warrior three. Take your weight forward. Find your best balance. Stay with this pose, or if you tried on the first side, bend that knee behind you. Reach back with a hand for the foot. Maybe lift your gaze a little. Lift up, but try to keep your torso pretty level to the ground. Find that gazing point. Release, step back, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, straighten the front leg. And triangle, Trikonasana. One of the things I like about the minimal cues practices is I don't have to talk so much while practicing. I get a little out of breath, but I think I also just get excited. That's part of it. Come on up, stretch back, and hands to the floor. Good old Vinyasa. Let's meet in down dog. From down dog, right leg up into the air. Step it forward. Let's come to pyramid pose. So we're going to slide the back foot in, heel down, and fold towards the front leg. Feet should be about hip distance apart, and that's going to help keep the hips square so that we're really targeting the areas we're trying to target for this stretch. If you want, you could also come here to a reverse Namaste, bringing your palms together behind your back, or if that's too much for your wrists, but you still want to do a variation here, you could grab your elbows behind your back and move the shoulder blades onto your back, and then, of course, your hands can't be on the floor, so it's a little bit more balance challengey. From here, let's lift up a little bit. Let's take the left fingers forward. We're going to move to revolve half moon pose. So my fingers come off my mat, yours might too, but we want the fingers to end up under the shoulder as you float the back leg up. Now, turn your torso, take the right arm up. Similar to what we just did in warrior three, if you want, bend your knee. Reach back with your hand for your foot. If that's too much, just stick with the pose in its most basic form. And then we're going to go to revolve triangle, sorry. So you can let go of your back foot. Allow that back foot to come back down where it was for pyramid. Slide your left fingers back. Take the right arm up now as you root into that back heel. Perhaps you can twist a little further. And hands to the floor, Vinyasa here. All right, inhale, left leg up, just the other side. Exhale, step it forward. Step the right foot slightly in so you can take pyramid fold here. Remember, if you did an arm variation on the first side, try to repeat that on the second side. All right, and then right fingers forward, revolve, half moon. Float the back leg up, take the left arm up, twist. If you did on the first side, try bending the knee, reaching for the foot with the hand. Pull up and away. And then eventually release that foot back to the floor, but try to keep your twist as you land your back foot. Slide your right fingers back to line up with your left toes. Revolve triangle. Hands to the ground, Vinyasa if you like. Let's take knees to the ground just to break things up for a second here. Let's go into just a dolphin pose. So nice and easy, a little bit of upside down time. If you'd rather go into a headstand, you can absolutely do that here. If you're okay with dolphin, you can keep it simple. Feet on the floor, neck relaxed, but head doesn't touch anything. If you want, you can play with taking the right leg up, reaching toes for the ceiling, or some of you might even want to take it almost in that direction of balance, just a little bend in that left knee, tiny hops. Try not to flip yourself over, because that's kind of scary. But if your forearm balance is good, you could also do that here. Take those right toes down, left leg. So other side, same thing. You can still be in regular dolphin. If you're working with a headstand or a forearm balance, great. If you want to add some little hops in here, give yourself some time with the head down and the hips high. And then bring your knees to the floor. Let's come to child's pose. Okay, come up onto your knees. Let's take camel pose, Ustrasana. This is one of my favorite back bends. There's only 3 of them, so it probably is my favorite back bend. You can work with toes tucked or feet extended. Up to you, find your way. Remember to keep the hips over the knees so that we're not leaning, we're actually up and over. The idea of this up and over is that we get our shoulders over our heels so that when we drop the arms down, they just naturally come to the heels. They're just vertical, as opposed to sinking the hips back so that the feet seem somehow closer, right? We're going up and over. Chin in, or you can bring your head back to your shoulder blades if you want. All right, support yourself to come up. And then let's go back to down dog. I got a quirky pose for you here. It's challenging. It's not necessarily strictly yoga. I don't teach it too often, but it can be really fun. So I'm going to throw this one at you today. Do your best. See where you're at. You can opt in or out. Let's step the right foot forward. So that's the first step. So we're going towards super soldier pose here. And I'm gonna talk you through it as best I can because, it's not gonna change your life in the sense that, you're probably not gonna get a promotion at work or find the love of your life if you can accomplish a pose like this, but it can change your perspective of yourself. And we have so much potential in our bodies. I think it can be really fun to try and see what that is. Don't hurt yourself, but let's just see what happens. So the starting point for this is we actually are gonna bring our right shoulder under our knee. So you can use your hand on your calf to try to do that. We're not really going towards a bind here, but we want that shoulder under the knee for stability. And then the hand is gonna kind of just come out to the floor. Now, what we're gonna do is, we've been doing a lot of this where we catch the foot with the hand, and that's exactly what we're gonna do here. So now, we're gonna try to step onto our right foot, pick the back leg up, and now I think the easiest way to do this is to just legit bend the knee, bring the heel in, and then the left arm is gonna be our stabilizing arm. So take it out, take it away from you, and now you can pick up that right hand. We're not bringing it behind the back, we're bringing it to our foot. See if you can find your foot. Now, we're in the pose, we're balancing, right? The goal is to open yourself up to point that knee towards the ceiling. Do your best. It's probably not gonna get a vertical quad. Some people might though, so if you can, and you can't even see, right? So just find the stretch, find what you can. Your head's gonna hang straight down towards the floor. Do you? All right. Step out of it, back to down dog. And that was probably a terrible angle, but now you're gonna get the other side so you can see what it looks like from the other side for me, but you're gonna see what it feels like for the other side for you. Step your left foot forward. Now, we're gonna slide that left shoulder under the left knee, right? Remember, so use your hand under the calf. So it's almost like you're thinking of going towards a bird of paradise, but we do it differently from there. Left arm is kind of going to support you on the ground here to get started as we transfer the weight to the left foot. That right arm is going to come out and away a little bit, so you've got a little distance between arm and foot, and that's going to help with your balance. Now, bending your right knee. So that knee can probably float to the ceiling now, but the goal is to find your ankle, your foot, with that left hand. Right arm is out and away. Start to point that knee towards the ceiling. Let your head drop down. Hey! All the blood rushes to my head. Whew. My German and Irish heritage betrays me when I'm doing yoga. I always get very red-faced. It's okay. I recover. Point the knee up. Do your best. Keep your balance. Straighten your standing leg. And then come out when you're ready. If you want, you can step back, take a vinyasa here. Woo! Hopefully that felt good, maybe a little fun. If not, oh well, there's always another pose. Walk the feet a little closer. Let's take a twist. So left hand to the right leg, twist under your right arm, push down. Switch sides, left hand, right hand to the left, twist. All right, and then hands down. Let's step forward, come to a seat. We're gonna take boat pose here, Navasana. So a little balance on our sit bones. Shins extend to lift the heart. I gave it what I had today. I hope you did too, right? Now we can start to cool down. Boat. Let's take a reverse table. Plug your shoulders in. Try to get the hips as high as the knees, chin in or head back. And the sun is going down. And the dogs are barking outside the window. Sit bones back down. Let's take one more boat. We're going to transform it here. So we're going to reach for the feet. Push the feet into the hands, lift and stretch, shoulders back. Take the legs out wide.
And then Baddha Konasana, so bend your knees, tuck your feet in towards you, edges of the feet to the floor, fold on in. Great. There's so many ways to stretch in yoga. I feel like it's the reward for the exertion that you put into your practice. And personally, I know this is different for everyone, but personally, the stretching actually feels a lot better to me once I've warmed up my body and those muscles are warm and they're really ready to stretch deeply. Plus, this whole sort of juxtaposition of effort and then sort of starting to let go, I think also works for me really nicely. Like I feel like because I was just exerting myself, there's much more reward to slowing down at the end of a practice. That's just me. If you like having a whole slow practice, which sometimes is necessary, I'm with that too. Come on up. Let's take Janu Shirshasana. So right leg out, left leg tucks in, arms up. Let's take it to a little twist here first. So see if you can take your left arm outside of the leg. This is kind of like our prayer twist we were doing earlier, but of course we're sitting now. See if you can take your left arm outside of the right and take a twist. Twists are nice and neutralizing for the spine. Usually they feel good. They're also, beneficial for digestion. They just sort of stimulate your digestive tract and all those organs in there. And then let's go ahead and fold. Forward folds designed to, of course we know, stretch hamstrings, but also be calming and move your focus more inward. So you can allow yourself that experience now too. Come on up and let's switch sides. So left leg out, sole of the right foot in. So Janu Shirshasana in the legs, but if you want to take that twist, we're going to bring the right arm outside of the left leg, press palms and twist to the left. And then come out of your twist, find your fold. And come on up. All right, so let's come to a cross-legged position just so we can kind of conclude. I hope you enjoyed this flow today. If you did, give the practice a thumbs up, and I also would love to have you subscribe to my channel. So I've been on YouTube for about 2 years now. I have, a gazillion practices, I think. If you've enjoyed any of them, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Being a subscriber really does support my channel, allows it to grow, and makes it sustainable for me to keep teaching these classes and offering these practices to you. That's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those for me as well. And I hope you'll join me again next time. Don't forget about Shavasana. For now, the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Thank you so very much for joining me today and sharing this practice. Namaste. Bye-bye.